Hello and welcome back. It's been a little while since I've done a floss tube. So we have a bunch of, floss tube, an episode. So welcome back. For people who haven't seen me before, I'm Kathy. I do crafting. So this channel is mostly focused on knitting and cross stitch, but I do have other things that show up occasionally. So if you're interested in seeing what I've been doing, what I've been making over the last roughly 2 months, feel free to stick around. So I guess to start off things, what I'm wearing, this is the Milkweed pullover. It was in a Makers episode. I don't remember the actual designer, but I will try and put it below. So that's what I'm wearing. This is something I knit last year, around this time actually. So kind of the way the episode is going to work is I'm going to go through some of like the finished things that I've done, things that are in progress, maybe some plans, and that'll wrap it up, I think. So first thing, things that I finished. So there's one thing that is not fiber arts related that I did finish recently. And this is a gift for my mother for Christmas. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. This is a calligraphy of two of her favorite verses. So it's done, it's ready to go. Now I just have to get it to home so that I can actually give it to her. So yes, first thing done. The next things that I'm gonna work through, I think, will be my finished cross stitch items. So I finished a number of things. So let me pull them over. So I finished a number of mill hill kits. So the next couple of things will be mill hill kits that I finished since I've been working on them. So there's this. Ooh, it would help if the ornament was in the correct direction. So there's that. Holly leaves. I have another Christmas ornament. So this one is a beaded mill hill kit. So all of the things on the ornament are beads, which actually I found I really enjoy doing. I have another fully beaded one. So this is actually an older mill hill kit. It's just a candy cane, which I think is actually supposed to be a pin. I haven't fully finished these. These are just finished objects. I do need to go through and like add backings and add some of the final steps to it. We have a Cardinal. And that's the end of kind of my mainly beaded stuff. And then we have the snowy tree ornament, a Scottie dog, and a very autumn appropriate truck with a very big pumpkin. So those are all my mill hill kits that I have finished since I last talked with you. I do take mill hills to work. They're my kind of work project, most of the like work cross stitch projects. So I actually get a bunch of them done, surprisingly, because they're what I do during like work meetings or trainings. So alternating with knitting. The next thing that I finished is this guy. So this is one of Nora Corbett's Patreon patterns. It's, which swan was it? I'll put the pattern below. So Swan on a framed 14 count Ada, I believe. I used beads that I found, so craft store beads, and I painted the canvas. So yeah, quite happy with how that one turned out. Oh, I forgot one mail haul kit. This one I just finished, so that's why it wasn't with the other ones. It's still in its go to work thing. Last mail haul kit. It's a little sleigh. This one I did change up. So the birds up here are supposed to be red. They are not red because I misread that symbol and I put them as blue because I thought a really light blue because that's what I thought they were supposed to be. I did end up backstitching them in like a darker blue, but yeah, it's almost exactly like the picture. So that I think is my last mail haul kit that I have done. The next thing that I finished, so this one was actually a really recent finish. So scrap fabric. This is, I think I'm going to call her Proverbs 31 in blackwork. She is my own design, and I used Royal Games by Bestitch Me to do all of her colors. So quite happy with her. She turned out really nice. The next thing that I have finished, so this was a work in progress last time. It is now finished. Merry Christmas. This is a Liz Matthews. The pattern I did was for Cross Stitch the Globe's birthday sale. I believe it's Hello 40 from Hello from Liz Matthews. I did this using DMC, one of the new DMC variegateds, and on peppermint pink stripes by Fabric Flare. So, yep, I have to fully finish it, but I did finish the actual stitching on this guy. And my last finished cross stitch piece is this one. So this is Blue Tulips by Ink Circles. Once again, it's scrap fabric that I got from like someone's de-stash, so I have no idea what type of fabric it is. It's like a linen, I would guess a linen. So Blue Tulips, did not use the called for colors. I pulled some unknown threads and that's what I ended up using for it. It turned out really good. There are some errors, so if you look closely on, which one? Where'd it go? Yeah, so if you look closely, I think here, you can tell that there's an error in there. There's a number of errors around the edges. The center is fine. It's just the edges that ended up with some errors. If you're really looking at it, you can tell because it is a mandala, and so it's supposed to be the same all around. It's not. But you do have to look at it closely, so I'm fine with that. So that is all of my finishes for my cross stitch stuff. I do have more finishes and fully finishes and my knitting stuff, so that's where we'll go next. Man. So the first thing that I fully finished and is blocked is one of my test knits that I was working on last time. It's the Haywood Cowl. I believe it's by Wagner Designs. I could be wrong. The proper information should be below. But I did it with a knit and crochet from Joann's, one of their, I think it's like the gray autumnal or gray variegated colorway, and then I used a contrast in white. So the way that, here it is. So it's got these really neat kind of pointed edges on the sides, and it continues all the way around, goes up. It's a brioche knit, which I had to remember how to brioche knit. Which meant that there were some mistakes as I learned how to do my yarn overs again because of my knitting pattern. But that does mean that it is fully reversible. So this is the proper way to wear it, but if you turn it inside out, which you can do, it's like the opposite. It's the reverse. So, I know several people have asked what cowls are. This is what a cowl is. It's kind of like a scarf, but it's already in a circle. And you essentially wear it around your neck like that, right? Neat. So, this is, I believe, the Haywood. Fun test knit. I enjoy the product. And it's getting into fall, so I can actually wear these now. It is appropriate to wear things like this now. It's wonderful. And then the last two things you've seen before, but not fully finished. So this, I had finished the knitting, and I was supposed to block it last time. I have blocked it. Here's the shift cowl, and I have gone ahead and seamed up the back as well. So very similar idea to the Harwood cowl, but a seamed one. And this is a slightly thicker yarn, so I guess later in the season kind of cowl, but that's what it looks like. I like it. Quite happy with this one. And if you are a knitter, this is a very enjoyable pattern. Andrea Mowry, she did a really good job. I really appreciated a lot of the finishing details, like the I-cord edge is added as you go on 3 of the sides, so you're just adding it on one side. It's a fun textured knit, and although it does require some thinking, it's also fairly intuitive once you get into it, so I really enjoyed that one. And then the last one, which you've seen several times now, I did enter it in the state fair. I finally finished it. I added the snap buttons to it. So now my Lazy Cat cardigan actually behaves more like a cardigan, and I have buttons on it. So, yep, fully finished, finally. All the ends are woven in. I have snaps, so if I want to, I can go ahead and do this up. I don't know that I would necessarily do it. I might only ever really wear it with like the 2 middle ones snaps, because the one up top I wouldn't necessarily want to do. But it's done. It's really warm. I'm not going to wear it a ton right now. It will probably get pulled out more in the winter as it gets colder. So that is all of my finishes. Now that I have gone through my finishes, let's go ahead and transition into my works in progress. So I do have a number of things that I've worked on in the little bit since you've seen me. I think I'm gonna go ahead and start with my knitting. I might start with my knitting and then we'll transition over into cross stitch. So if you want to skip ahead because you're not interested in knitting, go ahead. So the first thing that I've been working on is this guy. So this is the Adventure Backpack. It's one of the patterns that came with the yarn that I'm knitting on it. I think halfway through. Ooh, losing stitches. Those stitches back on. There we go. I think I'm about halfway through, so hopefully I will finish it. So the way it's basically working up, it's one piece. This is the back, this is the sides and the bottom, and then I will basically make the reverse of it, right? So the front will look like the back and you'll end up with kind of a T-shape plus shape, and then you have to sew everything up. So, what I am currently working on with that, the yarn is Darn Good Yarns DK Silk and the colorway Cherry Blossom, I believe. So I really actually like that one. The next thing that I've been knitting on is this one. So this is the start of another test knit. This one is the Shorts Cowl. It'll be another cowl. This one will have a little bit more lace work. You can start to see some of it actually. So I've just done the first two sections. I need to finish the third in about a week. So yeah, working on it. I'm doing it in Malabrigo's Sock Whale Road colorway, and so far I'm actually really enjoying this one. I do enjoy a good lace knit. So that is my current test knit, because this is a test knit. I try and keep usually one on, like I have a personal knit and then I have a test knit, and so this is my test knit that I have on my needles. I also have my work knit, which is this guy. Let me pull all of the tangle of yarn that comes with it. So this guy. Am I holding it the right way? No. Here. That's my back. So this guy. I am so close to being done. I just have the sleeves left, and I think I have a couple more inches before I can start the ribbing for my sleeves. So this is the Room to Bloom sweater by Veronika Lindberg. I'm knitting it up in an acrylic yarn, Hobby Lobby's like soft DK. I got 4 balls on sale, and so yes, I will definitely only need 4 balls of this. I'll probably have some left over. So this is the color Oxblood. I'm really happy with how it's turning out. I think like I've only done a couple of minor modifications. I made the body longer, and when they did the split hem, I made the front shorter than the back for it. I'm going to be making the sleeves a little bit longer, and for my collar, instead of sewing it in, I basically knit it in. But other than that, my construction is basically the same as what she did, so yes. I'm really happy with it. Really love the colorway. It's like a really dark burgundy color. It's really, really pretty. And I look forward to finishing this before the next time you see me. So hold it. Hold me to that, but I am going to finish this. Like, this is something that I really, really want to get done because it's a light sweater. It's going to be great for the fall, and it's October, so we're coming into fall. It's cooling down, finally. So getting some of these transitional pieces that, like, work for slightly chillier days, but that aren't, like, they start out chilly and then they go a little bit warmer, so you need something that you're going to be comfortable in, is kind of key for me. So I'm really excited to have this off the needles and finished. The final, my final knit in progress that I have, that I worked on, is something that I have a very sad start for. So my start is this. Yep, that's all I got. So this is the tab start for the Mermaid Cowl. Yeah. No, the Mermaid Shawl by Stephen West. So that is what I am working on here. I have just started with this color. I'm going to be using these 4 colors in addition to that green. And I believe there's a color gradient, so like this would be the next color, and then this one, and then that one, and then finally that one. So it'll go from a light to a dark kind of color palette. Yeah, started it, need to work on it more, but it hasn't been high on my priority list because I have a test knit and I have the sweater that I am so close to being done with. So I kind of started this one and then had other things that happened. So that is all. That is all of my works in progress for knitting. So I'm going to grab the one thing that I have sewing wise. So this. I'm actually working on a circle skirt, so I now have the pieces cut out for it. It's just a matter of sewing it together. It's going to be so much fun. Fun and glittery. I am looking forward to finishing sewing this. That way I have it in my wardrobe. So there's my sewing bit of things that I worked on, and now we get into the majority of the stuff that I have worked on since the last time. I have a bunch of cross stitch that I have works in progress that I have been working on. So let's get started. The first thing that I have here is Ophelia. I haven't made a ton of progress on this. It's one of the ones that I do need to work on. Especially if I plan on getting it finished by 2028. So I just put in a couple of stitches on this one. Ophelia by Mirabilia. Don't know what the fabric is that it's on. Someone destashed it and I used it for it. Yep. I enjoyed starting this one. I do enjoy it. I need to get back to it. I've just gotten distracted. So that's my first one that I worked on. The second one that I've been working on is this guy. So Long Dog sampler on one of Banana Oil's beautiful pieces. I'm actually playing around with this one and stitching it in the well or in the ditch, depends on however people. Basically, instead of stitching it on the surface like I was doing the other one, I've switched it out. So going into the fabric, like the design is on this side instead of on that side. Or I should say the finished side is this side instead of that side. enjoy it. I've really enjoyed monochromatic stitching. I found this out about myself. I truly enjoy that. Monochromatic and block stitching is wonderful. Love them. I have a bunch of pieces that don't have that, but I have started getting a couple more because I do enjoy it and I feel like it goes pretty fast. The next thing that I've been working on is this guy. So this is a larger perforated paper piece. It's Santa and the Cardinal House by Jim Shore. Let's see. Yeah. Pull the thread. I have needle and thread in here still. So you can see the Cardinal house is started. I've gotten parts of Santa done, so needs more work. 3 colors in. But enjoying it. It's a little bit different than the smaller ones, so stitching it in hand is a little bit more challenging with this one, I think, than the smaller ones, just because it's bigger and so you have more paper to deal with, and you don't really want to bend it. Shock! So there's that, but no, enjoy it. Having fun with that. Probably will see more progress next time. Water. The next thing that I've been working on is, I guess, cross stitch adjacent. So I got a Dimensions kit called the Old Time Village Ornament set. And this is the first one that I finished. It's really cute. And they are supposed to end up looking like this. And it's like a plastic canvas, and you're doing half stitch with like yarn actually on there, and doing details with floss. So I don't plastic point. I think this is actually plastic point, so like needle point but with plastic. I started it. It does hurt your fingers, so I can't do doing one ornament was painful enough. I'm probably never going to do multiple in one day. It's just the spacing of it, because you're putting something pretty thick through fairly small holes, and so you end up pulling, and it, like, holding the needle hurts. It would probably help if I used a thimble for it. That would mean that I'd have to figure out where my thimbles are, and I haven't done that yet. I might have to look up where those are. But enjoy it. It's actually kind of fun. So cross stitch adjacent, it's going in the section. The next thing that I am working on is this guy. So the Prairie Schooler, Bremen Town Musicians. It's a bell pull that I found at a local thrift store. And I probably wouldn't have started it right away, except it also came with the fabric in there. Like, I opened it up and was like, wait a second, they already came with like the fabric that they were planning on using for it. I will just use what they have already supplied me with. Why not? It's already basically kitted up. Yes, I have to have the threads, but like the fabric part is really what I needed for it. So I did start it. You can see I started the coxcomb and the outlines for it. It's not, I didn't center it quite right. There's like a stitch or two over here, so it's slightly off center, but I should still have enough space on it to finish it off nicely. So pretty happy with it. It goes a lot faster than I thought it was gonna go. So we'll see. It is more of a like traditional sampler look than what I usually stitch. So I can't say that I'm the most enthused about the style, it'll be fun but I think it'll be fun to stitch. So, pros and cons. The next thing that I've been working on is actually something that I started in May. I had a ton of starts in May. And let me see about, is my needle minder? Yeah, there we go. My needle minder is barely in the pocket area. So this one I'm also stitching in the well. This is Mirabilia's Nora's Christmas Stocking. It's MDC14. It's free. You can find it online. If I can remember where I found it, I'll put a link to it. So this one is small, but it has a ton of DMC that you use in it. For a pattern that is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, by like 50 by 50, 47 by 53, it uses 2, 4, 6, 8, 16, 18, 20, 21 colors. So, lots of colors, but it's turning out pretty cute. So I am quite happy with it. I will hopefully get more progress on it by the next time you see this. But as you can tell, I'm working on a bunch of projects, so I may or may not have as much progress as I should. The next thing that I'm working on here is something somewhat from this. So this it's the bookmark collection by Told in the Garden, by Marilyn Levitt Emblem. So Nora Corbett's mother, designer of a lot of lavender and lace, Told in the Garden, and there's one other design, Butternut Road. So she did the design, she designed a bunch of cross stitch stuff, and in here there's no mock-ups, but it's a bunch of like motifs that you should be able to use for bookmarks. I'm not using it that way. So I started a SAL, so start along, stitch along with Cross Stitch the Globe, where they were like, make it murder. It's the Make It Murder SAL, where you take patterns and change them. So I'm using, this is the basis, so it has a bunch of small motifs, so I'm going to use the small motifs to kind of make a larger design for myself. And it's a design that's based off of a movie from like the 80s, I think, called Private Eyes. And so this is actually the very small start. So I started putting in words. So the bottom is going to say a villainous village. And speaking of Private Eyes, so Private Eyes is filmed actually at the Biltmore House, which is bringing me to kind of one of the topics that I did want to discuss today. So I'm going to do a quick mention here about specifically Western North Carolina. So, Private Eyes was filmed at the Biltmore House, which is a large house in Western North Carolina. And if you've been watching the news recently, there was a rather massive hurricane that came in. Hurricane Helene went through Florida and up through Western North Carolina, the Appalachian Mountain areas. So there's a number of places that are flooded out in Florida. They had a bunch of water damage, especially on the coast. But a lot of damage actually happened in the mountains. And as I'm from North Carolina, and I actually spent all of my childhood roughly 40 minutes from the areas that are really hardly hit, or really hit hard, it's near and dear to my heart. So there's a bunch of destruction there. Like, hearing from people who I know who live near or in those areas, they're putting pictures of people's last moments online. They have pictures of the destruction of the houses of the area. The school where I went to university at has shortly after it told people that basically don't come up here. Students, you can't leave. It's not safe to leave campus. Parents, you can't come up to campus to see your children. All of the children on campus are safe, but we have no internet. We will help provide and feed for everybody and keep them safe and sheltered, but we have one landline, and that's how your student can contact you. And if you call us, we have a pre-recorded message saying everybody's safe, but you might be able to get through to talk to your student, which I think has been hard for a bunch of people. But they have said basically people around us have been hit harder, right? People have lost their houses, people lost loved ones, towns are decimated in that area. So if you are please remember everybody in your prayers and thoughts as they're going through this time. If you're able, please donate if you can to reputable centers. I know the Red Cross is in that area. I've seen stuff from them. I think Save Our Children is in that area. There's some local charities. I'm going to try and put some of the links for places that I know is being reputable in the description blocks below. So if you are able to, please donate money. If there's other things that you can give, especially if you're in the area, please, people lost entire houses, they lost everything that they owned, so they're going to be hurting for a while. And then finally, if you can't give anything, please remember to talk about these people with compassion. I've seen some things where people are trying to profit off of this tragedy, which is really, but people have been saying why didn't you move? Why didn't you evacuate? How dare you stay in this area? And it's something that they didn't see coming. There's not been anything similar to this since Hurricane Hugo, which happened when I was born. And some people may not have had the opportunity. Just like in Florida, people don't necessarily want to leave everything that they own because there potentially might be something happening and they don't even think it's going to be that bad. And yet you don't see people necessarily totally browbeating people in Florida who don't leave their homes during a hurricane. Have compassion. Have compassion on the people who are there. Have compassion on the people who are helping them. They're not perfect. Everybody is a person. So remembering that there's someone behind these comments and being kind. So that's what I have to say about that. I'm going to continue on with what I've been working on, but if you can, please remember to keep them in your prayers and your thoughts, donate if you can, and have compassion. Have compassion for everyone who was hit by it from Florida, the people in Florida, the people in Georgia, people in Tampa have been affected, people in South Carolina, Tennessee, North Carolina, Virginia. I think that's a bunch of the Southeast. So, keep them in mind. And with that, I will continue on with what I've been working on. So the next thing that I've been working on is this one. So this is Angel of Harmony. It's a Dimensions cross-stitch kit. Yep, this one. And it's working up pretty nicely. Quite happy with it. Soon I should be done with the hoop section and I can move. It'll be exciting. So yep, this is one of the ones that I'm working on. The next thing that I'm working on is a little bit more of a Halloween, but a very fun design anyways. So this one. So it's this one. Few have died. So many have eaten here, few have died. I saw that and was like, that's fun. I need that in my life. I am changing the colors, so the called for colors are not necessarily what I'm using. I started it, and I started with the charcoal, so instead of using a specialty floss, I'm using DMC for it. I've got a good chunk of it, like good chunk of the face done. I started on the words. I don't know yet what I'm going to be using for that green in there. I think I'm going to make it a little bit brighter, but that is a future me one. Granted, I am going to try and work on this one fast because my apartment has this, what is it, Halloween fall decoration. You're supposed to take a picture of it and send it to them so people can vote on it, and you potentially could get $250 off of your rent. So I am going to make something fall Halloween related for that. I just need to finish things and make them so that I can enter that. So this is ideally what I would enter for like the Halloween one. I can probably also work on like the pumpkin. That's a fall one. So that's one of the things that I've recently worked on. The next one that I've been working on is this one. I'm probably not going to finish it by the end. So this is Evanora, I believe. I think it's Evanora. So it's Evanora and Claire that are kind of mirror images. One has the crown and the other one has the hat. I think this is Evanora. Nora Corbett design, monochromatic mostly, fun stitch. I do have to work on this one in the day though. I cannot work on it at night because the fabric, although gorgeous, love the fabric. It's Jackson Fiber Arts on her hemp even weave. Love the fabric, highly recommend. It's also really dark, so it doesn't work to stitch on at night. So that is that one. Oh, there's the chart. It is Evanora. This one is Evanora. I have finished Claire. I finished Claire a while back now. The next thing that I have worked on is this guy. So this is my current work stitch. Mill Hill kit. It's a little octopus. So the Spring Bouquet collection, Octy. Okay, there's all my thread. It's a Mill Hill kit on perforated paper. For those of you who don't like perforated paper, you know who you are. Yeah, it's a perforated paper project, but I enjoy it, so I will continue it. I think perforated paper is fun. Surprisingly something that is very polarizing. The next one that I have is an Artiste kit. It's called Tribal Love. Needleminder, once again by me. I think I showed these last time. I've gotten further. I've started filling in some of the stuff in the center of the letters. Yeah, not much to say on it. It'll be it's a fun stitch. I would like to get further along. Would like to get it finished sometime soon. before the end of the year, maybe. That might be where I go with it. The next one that I have is going to be a key fob. So this is the Sweetheart Tree, Keep Calm and Carry On. And then Now Panic and Freak Out. This I will eventually have up at work because I feel like that would be appropriate. I did start it on an Ada, not the best choice. Definitely should use an even weaver linen because it has a bunch of quarter stitches which do not work well on Ada. Yes. So Ada, enjoy it. Need to work on it more. It's also dark, so I have to do it during the day. It cannot be a night stitch. And then I think this is my last work in progress. Like, I think it is. And I'm about an hour in, so go me for like not taking forever. Like, I think this might be about an hour, which is impressive because usually I'm not an hour. Well, that's what happens when you haven't done anything for 2 months and you forget about all the things that you wanted to talk about, all these projects. Anyways, so the last one that I have is a Stoney Creek, the Joy Silhouette. And I've got the bell done and I'm starting the bow part of it. You can't necessarily see it on camera, but I am using a floss that slightly sparkles, held with the Blanc by DMC. So it has a very subtle sparkle to it. It's quite enjoy it. This is actually the color that I'm holding with the Blanc. So very snow-like appropriate for this design. So that is, at least as far as I can tell, all of my works in progress. If I have more, I don't remember where they are, and so they aren't in here. Yay. So I guess that leads me to haul work plans, maybe? I think I'll go plans, and then we'll talk about some other small things. So, plans. I don't have a ton of cross-stitch plans at this point. I think in November I will probably try to do Nora November. And I think I'm going to do similar to what I did in Miramaid, where although instead of a bunch of Mirabilias that I start, I'm going to go ahead and try and start a bunch of Nora Corbetts, because I have a bunch of her designs. I have more than enough to fill up 30 days of starts. And I want to get some of these things at least started. So like having the fabric and the pattern and starting it. That way I have it started, and so I can go back and continue working on it, and it's not like the matter of, oh, I got to figure out which fabric I want. Don't necessarily kit things up, but I need to figure out what fabric. No. I want to go ahead and get some of those started. So that is a plan. Other than that, I don't think I have anything in October that I have planned. I will probably have some impulse starts because that's what I do a lot of the time. But I do have at least one knitting plan that I'm going to be working on. It'll be this guy. So I'm going to take this dishcloth and knit a holder so that I have another hanging dishcloth, and I might go ahead and make a bunch more. They're really handy. I love having these actually in my kitchen. You hang them on the oven thing, and then you have a hanging towel right there that you can just go ahead and wash your hands. You don't have to worry about it falling off because you've yanked on it, because it's not held on by, it's not just draped over and so it doesn't fall off. It's wonderful. And I need to make some more of these. I have a bunch of cloth, or a bunch of dishcloths that I planned on making into those. So I need to go ahead and make some more. So plan, get one of these done for myself. I also want to kind of see about creating a pattern. I might actually try and make / write my own pattern and put it on Ravelry for it, if it works out. I'm gonna try and do it a different way though, because the way that I had been creating the whole, because it does have a button so that it securely latches on. The way I had been doing it, it sags. It sagged. I didn't like it as much, so I'm gonna see if I can make the buttonhole a slightly different way, and make it more like what I want it to be. And if I'm happy with it, then yes, I think I will make at least a pattern for it. We'll see how that goes. I have a number of craft plans that aren't necessarily stitching or knitting. These guys. So I have 5 of these no-sew or sew-throw kits. So I have one for all of my cousin's children. So, well, not all. All of the ones that are not newborns, because the newborns get a specific knitted gift. So the non-newborns are getting these. And so my plan is to embroider the initial of the child in the corner. I don't know how I'm good. I might do yarn. I'm thinking about it. I was thinking about it and was like, I don't know that I necessarily want to do it like really delicately. I think this would be a good one to like yarn so that it would be big and bold in like the corner. And then basically do the no-sew thing for them. So yes, future plans. I don't know how long that will take me. I don't think it'll take too long. But yes, future plan. And then I have one thing that is an acquisition / future plan. So I went to a thrift store. I went to a thrift store. If you follow me on Instagram, that handle is below. But if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen that I put some pictures of some frames that I had thrifted recently. That same week I also went through and looked, and I did get a number of patterns and stuff, mostly Cricut collection, I believe, patterns, and then a couple of one-offs as I start doing them. So like the Bremen musicians, that was a thrift store find. So as I start the projects, you will find out where I got the patterns from. But this one I like so much. It's beautiful and I do want to finish it. It's a totally different technique than anything I've done. I think this is this is embroidery, but I'm not sure what type of embroidery. They got a good chunk of it done, but not everything. So I want to go ahead and finish this. And I don't know what I'm going to do with it afterwards, but I do want to finish it. So that is one of the goals for things to do. And when I got this, at the same time, I also managed to get a scroll frame. So yeah, I got a scroll frame for like $3. Was very happy. It's a different one than the kind that I've had before because it has the 2 tapes and then you whip stitch your thing on it so that it'll stay. Hiccups. So I'm gonna have to play with that and see how that goes. But quite happy. Very good. This might have to go on the skull frame. We'll see. But the stitches that the person did on this are quite frankly gorgeous. So I don't know that I will necessarily start. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to figure this out because it is very pretty. And I think it's like it might be a tapestry wall? I don't know. I don't actually know what they used to do the stitching, but I do know that I want to try it. So yes, that is a plan. Don't know when I'll get around to it, but I will. And then the last couple of things that I have is haul and kind of a project that I've been working on. We do have a local needle shop that recently opened up called the Prairie Rose Needlework in Ames, Iowa. It's a really nice shop. She's definitely been adding things to it, and she recently had a trunk show for a local designer called Sprouting Lupine. And I'd seen the designs that they put on the website and they were nice, but not anything that I was super drawn to. There are 2 patterns one pattern that I saw in the store that I think I will eventually get. But this one I bought because I saw the model. So she had some model stitches that she brought in and I saw the model stitch and it was gorgeous. So I ended up buying it and it is this one, Graveyard Guardian. So this is actually a pretty good Halloween kind of shot or one. It's really pretty. Oh, yes, the picture's nice, but like seeing the actual model stitch in person, really, really good. So I will eventually start this, but this is my acquisition. Wanted to highlight it because it's a local designer and from my local needlework shop. So if you happen to find them, feel free to get one. Or if you live in Ames, you can find them at the store. And then the final thing to talk about today is this set. So, someone, I think Cross Stitch to Grow, mentioned that they had seen someone who had done a master set of DMC and they were like, oh, that's a wonderful idea. I would love to do something like that. And I was like, I have a bunch of DMC thread because I bought a number of like lots on eBay where people were just trying to get rid of all kinds of stuff. So I actually had a bunch of the colors and then I inherited some and I have some because I've started on some projects, etc. So I was like, that's an excellent idea. Let's start that out. So I did. And I think I have now every color from 1 to above to like 3,800, like the 3,800s, like I have at least one skein. I had to make a spreadsheet because I had multiple skeins of a number of colors. So I was going through and being like, do I have this color? Yes, no. I think I ended up having to buy maybe 5 or 6 that I was missing. But I had most of the colors. Like, I had most of those skeins. So between 1 and whatever the highest 3,000 number is, I have all of those colors. I have at least one skein of all of those colors. So they are in the master set box. So I have 4 boxes of this, of floss. And I have started on the 4000s. I've got a good chunk done. But yeah, we have some more colors to do. I do need to bobbinate those. I haven't bobbinated my 4000s yet, but I have started. So I should soon have a full master set of DMC floss colors, and then I might get master sets of some of the, like, add in some of the other specialty flosses as they go, but I really wanted to get at least the cotton flosses. I want to have a master set of the cotton flosses. That way, whenever I start a new project, it's like, yes, I have all the colors that I need for it. As long as it's a DMC conversion, DMC chart, I'll have all the colors. I won't need to necessarily buy anything to start it out. And then you can go basically back and, like, as you finish out a scheme, I now know which ones I have, so I don't necessarily have to buy more of the same color because I already have 7 or 8 different schemes of that color. I think I do still need to organize those extras that I have into probably, I don't know. I need to organize them into something better than what they are right now. They're now all stuffed in bags. They'll probably still be stuffed in bags, but they'll be stuffed in bags in a slightly more organized manner. But yes, that was the project that I've been working on, and I'm quite happy with it. So that, I think, covers all of the things that I had to say today. If you enjoyed, feel free to like and subscribe the video. If you have any suggestions, comments, feel free to comment below. If you want to see pictures on a more frequent basis, follow me on Instagram. It's Turnbull's Threads on Instagram as well. And yeah, I think I did actually reopen my Etsy shop. That's more like things that I've knit. There's a couple of cross-stitch projects that I finished that I don't necessarily want to keep. But if you are interested in browsing my Etsy store, feel free. Same person, Turnbull's Threads. Other than that, I think I have finished everything. So like, comment, subscribe. And other than that, have a great day, have a great weekend, have a great week. I will see you again, hopefully soon. Bye!